In this video, we're going to go over the top 5 problems we found with the C300 third generation Mercedes. Now, we have everything from oil to brake issues to drivetrain and fuel. Money savers and lifesavers. Let's get into it. Number 1 brings us here underneath the car. It has to do with the drive shaft. And a lot of cars, not just Mercedes, has these. And I like to call them drive shaft dampers, and Mercedes calls them flex disc. And it's a rubber circle that's mounted right here on the end of the drive shaft going into the transmission. Now what happens is it's rubber, right? Great concept for going down the road. Nice, easy transition, not a steel on steel. But over time, that rubber breaks up and it will start to shred. Now you start to notice a vibration, a shake maybe at low miles, and then it gets worse as it gets higher. Take care of this right away, because eventually if that breaks and shatters and just shreds all over the place, you could do internal transmission damage that whole time it's going. So you notice it, take care of it right away. So number 2 takes us right here to the wheels. Now, not the wheels, but the brakes inside on all 4, they have a problem with squealing. And it has to do with when the brake pads are worn halfway down. Now, very typical European cars, the brake pad is so much thicker than a domestic or Asian car. It actually causes problems overall, because your pads are plenty of meat there and you're stopping, but the surface now to that rotor is getting old. It gets rust buildup on it, it gets a lip on it, and the brake pad itself still has plenty of meat, but there could be brake dust buildup, and now you have this hideous squeaking noise and constantly going down the road. So you don't just change the pads out, because don't blame the pads. The surface they're riding on is unsafe. So what do? Is you make sure you replace those rotors when you do a brake job. Even at 50% wear, don't just throw pads on. 1, that's no, it's unsafe. But 2, you want a better surface for that rotor and pad to make a mating surface. You've got to have it there. So we have a nice brake pad that we cut at an angle also, so that brake dust doesn't build up and cause like a record needle high-pitched sound. Number 3 brings us under the hood, right here to this master cylinder. The brake fluid inside gets contaminated, which all brake fluid does, but Mercedes recommends every 2 years flushing the whole brake system due to the contamination and what it does to this ABS module. It causes it to do strange things and activate. It does damage internally. In this ABS module, well, that can be costly to repair or replace. So keep up on the flushes every 2 years, 60,000 miles or so you don't get a defective brake pedal. Number 4 brings us to the engine. This has to do with oil leaks. This is where I said earlier about saving money and time. You have an oil leak on this car, don't go right to the valve covers, because it looks like the valve covers. You think, oh, it's right here, top of the engine, gravity works, oil pulls down. It's these little caps. They're on the back of the heads, and the PCV cover itself. It comes in a set, and they have these O-rings in them, and over time, the heat breaks the plastic down the O-ring, so oil pours out. It drips out on the ground, and it's pretty severe, and you don't want it misdiagnosed by going, oh, I gotta go right to that valve cover. It's these. Mercedes themselves says every 60,000 miles, do it as a maintenance, and you'll cut back on that oil leak and drippage. Number 5 has to do with the fuel gauge reading, and that could leave you on the side of the road, which could be kind of scary. Let me show you what I mean. So on the C300, drivers have complained about basically when they know their tank is fairly full because they just filled it, all of a sudden the gauge fluctuates, goes from full, 3/4 full, right down to 1/4 or 1/8 of a tank, and then back. It keeps dancing. And that could lead you to an inaccurate reading, which could leave you on the side of the road if you weren't paying attention to when you filled up last. So they say to take the fuse for the instrument cluster and basically pull it out and reset it, put it back in. And it resets that little computer in there, and it should be all set. And if pulling that fuse and resetting that gauge doesn't work, go back to your fuel pump module. That has the actual level sensor on it, and that could be your problem. And we sell that at 1A. Check us out. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and don't forget to check us out at 1AAuto.com. Thanks for watching.